Back on Shy and Brandon's Pretty Okay Sports Show. We are at Pretty Okay Takes on Twitter. That's OKAY. I'm at Shy Holder, SHYHOLD, HOLDER. He's at Brandon Adams 21. And our guest this week, I'm pretty excited to get him on. Been a big fan of his on Twitter for a while. It is Kyle Lewis. You can find him on Twitter at Keep It 5 Star. That's FIVE. He's a comedian. He's part of the 3-Man Booth, and also part of SiriusXM's Busted Open Radio. What's going on, Kyle?
What's going on, everybody? How are you guys today?
We're pretty good, man. Brandon is incredibly sunburnt. I know you don't know much about that, nor do I. But
no, not at all.
I'm gonna try to convince him to be brave and upload a picture to Facebook, possibly do a video shirtless, because he literally, it looks like, if he has his shirt off, it looks like he's wearing a T-shirt, even though he isn't. That's how red he is right now.
Oh my God, he's got the Sheamus, like the Sheamus commercial.
Yes,
he's sunburned.
He's about that pale too normally.
I sent Shy a picture yesterday, and he told me I've never looked more racist than I did right then.
Well, this is a fresh start in the right direction to stop any alleged racism by having a black guy on the show, black comedian.
Now, Kyle,
I'll vouch for you. You're good.
Yeah, Kyle is a funny dude. As he said, he's a comedian. He's he makes me laugh, all right? But one of the things that is good, because his niche is kind of, he's in the wrestling world. We don't find many people that are both into wrestling and also like funny, and they know not to take it too seriously all the time, because a lot of us are nerds. But see, Kyle, Brandon is not in this world. He doesn't know anything about wrestling. He has really not been involved in it since he was a kid. So if you just bring up pro wrestling to him, it's going to be Hulk Hogan and Ric Flair.
Jake the Snake.
And Jake the Snake Roberts. That's all he knows.
Those are some good names.
So don't be offended if you ask any stupid questions within the course of this interview.
Hey, by the way, I am in this world, Shy. I'm just not in the wrestling world. I'm a person.
You're in the okay. So
you exist.
We are. How far are we into the brand split now, Kyle? How many months? It's been
almost a year.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because Backlash,
close to a year. Yeah.
Yeah, because Backlash just passed, and then that was the first brand split pay-per-view last year was Backlash, right?
Yeah, they announced it I think in May of last year, and then they officially had it in July. So we're about like maybe 10 months from officially, and then sometime in July it's going to be a full year of a brand split.
Now, I feel like this thing is just now finally finding its rhythm, despite injuries and everything like that. Are you feeling the same way? Because it felt a little empty at first, but I feel like now it's finally picking up since they did the shakeup and everything. Are you that same thought, or is one show still lacking to you?
I mean, well, I still think SmackDown is better than Raw, but it definitely takes time. It takes time for people to get used to watching somebody on one show, finding your rhythm. You know, SmackDown was firing on all cylinders for like 6 months or so, and then they did a new shakeup, and now I think SmackDown and Raw are like, they have like equal talent, at least on the roster side, but the 3 hours of Raw is still kind of a chore to get through at times.
Oh my God, I've noticed myself not watching Raw very much. I'm a SmackDown fan also. I haven't been watching Raw as much since the brand split, but I'm glad. See, I kind of felt I haven't met anybody who's like really super into wrestling who thinks that Raw has been the better brand or is the better brand. And
oh no, I mean, I think the things that hurt Raw, I mean, it's the 3 hours, and you know, their top guy is Roman Reigns, who most people hate. You know, very, very talented, but anybody who beats The Undertaker, it could be my own dad beating The Undertaker at WrestleMania. I'm like, I'm not talking to you. We're not friends. We're not family because you beat The Undertaker. So, like, you know, he still has that on his back in the Raw, especially if he's the top guy. While SmackDown, you have AJ Styles, you have Shinsuke Nakamura, you have Sami. I feel like there's more somebody for everybody on SmackDown. Jinder Mahal. And on Raw, it's like one main dude no matter what.
Yeah, what do you feel about Jinder Mahal? He is the new WWE World Heavyweight Champion on SmackDown Live. And I had two thoughts. I thought either they're really behind him and they're really behind this India push thing, or they've decided that the Universal Championship is their top title and they don't really care about this one as much anymore. Which side are you on?
I'm on the side that they want to give him a chance. He's got that look that Vince McMahon liked. You know, the India expansion does not hurt. You know, that works for him. And why not? Everyone always talks about making new stars. We weren't expecting Jinder Mahal, but you gave him the ball, and if he can run with this for 1 month, 2 months, 6 months even, like, you have a new star in your hands. I think it was a smart idea. I think it was a smart plan to go with JBL. I was not into JBL as a main eventer at all. I was like, Bradshaw, the guy who drinks, and a year with the championship, and JBL was a main event player. So I hope it works out for Jinder Mahal.
Now, I felt incredibly awkward watching Jinder Mahal because when he first came back, you were like, this dude does not look the way that he used to look. His body has changed. Yeah. His physique has changed. And he came out and said, no, I'm not on any kind of illegal substances. I've just been working out and dieting. But they got a close-up of him during Backlash, and you could just see his back and his chest just overcome with acne, and I felt immediately super uncomfortable because Brandon, as a baseball fan, when you think of back acne on an athlete, you think he's doing what?
Roids.
Okay, he's on steroids, and he was just covered in it. And it's so funny because I was watching WrestleMania 2000 last night, and Triple H looked the same way. We all know how big he used to be, and I'm is this guy about to get popped? Does he have a free pass? And I'm cringing thinking about what the future might hold for the wellness policy there with Jinder Mahal, but the look definitely has something to do with it for sure.
Yeah, no, I mean, I hope you can only hope that the wellness policy. You can look at it. There are some loopholes. There are some things that aren't part of the policy. Maybe he's taking those in addition to working out. I don't know all the substances and stuff. I don't really pay attention to that stuff. But I'm just hoping he's keeping his body healthy and he has his push. And they don't have what happened last year with Roman Reigns, where he got suspended randomly. And you're like, oh, crap, what do we do now? So this is his opportunity. I hope he makes the most of it, and I hope he's healthy despite the back knee.
We are joined by Kyle Lewis here on Shy and Brandon's Pretty Okay Sports Show. Comedian, he's part of Three Man Booth. He's a wrestling social media commentator, producer for SiriusXM's Busted Open Radio, and their social media manager. Back to Jinder Mahal real quick.
Can I stop you real quick? Formerly part of Sirius. I'm actually not a part of Sirius
Formerly, okay.
Anymore.
I thought you weren't, but I saw it on your Twitter bio, so I'm reading off that, so I didn't forget anything. Okay.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. I'm still kind of mooching off of there.
Okay. That's what I was
like, oh yeah.
So
previously part of Busted Open.
When
when you see it's the Jack Swagger leaves WWE. He's at the Indy show. I have my table set up. So formerly part of Busted Open.
So your name now is really, instead of Kyle Lewis, it's really like Lyle Kuis, because you got to change it.
I can't use my name. I'm like Lyle Kuis now. On stage, it's really awkward.
Yeah.
I have to wear a mask.
What is Lyle Kuis doing in the Impact Zone? I have no idea.
Yeah, exactly.
When did you leave?
I'll face Alberto Del Rio.
Yeah.
Or whatever's going on at Impact. It's an awful show.
When did you leave Busted Open? Now, I know Bully Ray's part of that show now, because I haven't listened in a little bit. Were you?
Yeah, I left.
You left before he came there?
Before, yeah.
Okay.
September. Long story short, disagreements with management. They wanted to go into a different direction. Mm-hmm. And I was with Sirius for 6 years. So I was like, I've worked my way up. If this is not the way this is going to go, I'm just going to go my own way. And the show's doing great. I still talk to, Dave, Doug, Larry. They're killing it. They got to 5 days. They're on Sports Illustrated. All this stuff that, as a producer, I wanted for them is finally happening. So I'm glad that that's still happening and that management is supporting the show. But I left in September. So anything after September has nothing to do with it.
Okay, because I was going to ask you, if you were still there, I was going to ask you to ask Bully Ray why the hell he blocked me on Twitter, because he blocked me a while ago.
Oh, God.
I have no idea.
He seems like a very hard person to talk to.
Yeah, I know, man. It was you remember when the Usos were in that thing with Jericho, and he called them his back of the bus brothers? You remember that?
Yeah. Oh,
so Brandon, who was a white guy, if you were to hear a white guy call a person of color his back of the bus brothers, what's the first place your mind would go?
Rosa Parks.
Okay, yeah. It would go to a racial place. And then and Bully Ray was like on this rant on Twitter, who was also known as Bub. You might know him as Bub. You know the Dudley Boys, Brandon, probably.
Yeah, I do.
He's one of the half of the Dudley Boys. And he was on this rant that he was calling, going off on people. You guys you're the worst people. You assume the worst. And I simply tweeted him, and I was like, dude, there's nothing wrong with someone asking a question, what is this? It's different. Yeah. It's different from someone accusing someone of being racist. But if someone just says, what does that mean? Like, where would we be as a society if we did not ask questions? Like, what does this mean?
Oh, exactly. You have to ask everything when you get the opportunity, especially if you don't know. That's what they teach us when we're younger.
Yeah.
I actually, years ago, got blocked by R-Truth.
Oh, man.
Well, rightfully so. I've not said nice things about him ever. But regardless, he would go on his Twitter and be like, oh, it's all about duck ankles and chicken kneecaps. And a whole bunch of us were like, what are you talking about? So we just kept asking him, and he blocked like 10 of us in a row because he wouldn't answer the question.
Well,
so R-Truth, not that he's had a fan to begin with, but he lost more people to chant what's up with him.
Well, since asking questions is okay, guys, I have a question. How come black people make everything cool?
What? There's a lot of stuff R-Truth is not making cool.
Well, back in the day, they say back of the bus. You know what I mean? But growing up in school, where did all the cool kids sit? The back of the bus.
This would be the time where you should
we kind of didn't take the baton that Rosa gave us.
Yeah, it's true.
sit in the front. We were just kind of like, what's better than that? There's better air conditioning there.
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean, I think we just live. We know we live. I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah, if our grandparents knew that we were all sitting back there, they'd be pretty upset.
Oh, they'd be so mad. Like, what are you doing?
I found the last tweet Bubba or Bully Ray sent to me. I don't know. I think he's confused on who he wants to be because the Twitter name is still Bully Ray, but the actual name on Twitter is Bubba Ray. So that's up in the air.
He's doing what I'm doing. Lyle Kulis. Trying to get that Bubba Ray hit.
Yeah, he called me a bottom-feeding Twitter troll who deserves to be banished.
Oh, boy.
Okay. And then he called me a tool. All I said was, what does this mean? That's all I said.
Why is he upset? He's got such a nice life. He's dating Velvet Sky. He's not busted open.
No,
does he have back knee? Maybe he's upset about that.
No, he has bell knee. That's what he has. She's way out of his league. He should be a very happy guy. Going back to the Jinder Mahal thing because
I'll take his coverage.
Yeah, we talk. You make fun with race on your Twitter page and then your stand up and stuff like that.
Got a lot of trouble for just my Jinder Mahal comment.
Yeah, we'll touch on that in a second. I was going to ask, it seemed like people that were writing the creative for Jinder Mahal, he came out with that championship celebration. It seems like WWE was like, they're going to boo him because he's brown. And no one in the crowd booed. I think they forgot that it was 2017 and they were just sitting there silent.
Somebody was booing.
Yeah.
Somebody, or they wanted to.
I think they overestimated racism in the United States.
Yeah, they weren't booing loudly. I mean, maybe they had to go to a Mormon, had to go with Alabama or something. I don't know. I don't know where racism is. I stay away from those parts.
You watch it with that Bama talk.
I guess, yeah.
He's got some Bama roots, which we cannot deny. Alabama is a very racist place. I don't know why he's trying to stick up for it.
Look, I'm just saying that I'm glad that the WWE universe, as they call it, is a little more accepting. If you're going to boo Jinder, boo him because he's a bad wrestler or he's a heel or something like that. Bad wrestlers like bad guy.
That made me happy. I thought they were going to start chanting Bernie Sanders in the crowd for a second. That's what it seemed like.
That would have been so weird.
Now,
that would have been.
What was your story? What was the trouble you got into about on Twitter with the Jinder Mahal thing?
All I did
I don't
was
think I saw that.
Jinder Mahal wins WWE Championship. I tweeted, and I did white people reaction, and then with that white guy blinking meme.
Oh yeah,
that meme that's really popular. Yeah. And a lot of people liked it, but other people were like, "You always got to make it about race. I hope you f***ing die," and all this other horrible stuff. I was like, over this. No, relax. And Tumblr, we have a Tumblr for Three Man Booth as well. They're always trying to make everything a philosophical debate, so I just stayed away from that.
See, that's
people got really mad at that tweet, and I was like, oh.
I wish people understood from a black person's perspective, everything is about race because we always have to question, for instance, if I walked out of here right now and someone was mean to me, I would have to question, are they just a jerk? Did I do something wrong, or are they just being a dick because I'm black? It's always something that's in your head.
That's how we live, and we take that, and then we just make whatever angst that we got, we just make life cooler. Yeah. And that answers the question from previously.
Yeah. Yes.
We have to deal with racist stuff, but in return, we get to, lean cool and sit in the back of the bus and look cool. It's not the fairest trade, but we make it work.
Yes, Kyle Lewis from Three Man Booth. He is at Keep It 5-Star on Twitter, FIVE. Brandon, tell us about you. Tell me beforehand. I wanted you to save it before the show. And this is perfect because Kyle is with us. You saw Ric Flair yesterday for Carb Day here in Indy for the Indy 500. Ric Flair had no idea where he was, apparently.
Yeah, so he's supposed to be the MC for the Snake Pit, which I don't know how much you know about the Indy 500, Kyle, but basically you can fit every Big Ten football stadium inside the track. It's that big. And the day of the race, there's a huge area designated. They call it the Snake Pit. It's been around forever. And it used to be a lot more wild back in the day, like, in the 70s, 60s, 80s, whatever.
It got shut down for a while because it was so crazy.
But now they have it, and they bring in artists every year. Sometimes it could be a rapper or, it could be anybody. They have a lot of, dubstep? Is that right?
Yes.
They have like a lot of dubstep. Yeah, it's just this constant party. And so Ric Flair is the MC for that this year, and it happens actually during the race. Most people that are in the snake pit probably don't even know there's a race going on around them.
Yeah.
So he's hosting that. So that's on Sunday, the day of the race. Well, yesterday, Carb Day, is always the Friday before the race, and they brought him out to introduce the band, the Steve Miller Band, who was performing a free concert for everybody that was there. And he comes out, and I don't know. Shy says he talks like this all the time. I've heard Ric Flair talk a lot, but I don't know as much as he does.
Flair nowadays. Ric Flair now is different from Ric Flair 5 years ago. When he talks, he slurs. No matter if I don't know if he's drinking or not. He slurs every time he talks.
So he may or go ahead.
I was just saying, age is caught up to him.
Yeah, well, he may or may not have been drunk. If he talks like that all the time, maybe he wasn't. But he sure acted and sounded like he was wasted. And he got up there to introduce the Steve Miller Band, and he says, "I've waited my whole life to be inside this snake pit." And everybody's looking around like, what are you talking about?
He was not
That's
inside
Sunday.
the snake pit at all.
Yeah, he was not inside the snake pit. And so he's going on, and everybody in the crowd around me, like some people were just laughing. Other people were getting pissed. People were yelling stuff. But then he let out one of his woos, and everybody went nuts.
That makes everything okay.
That's all you got to do.
Yeah.
That's all Ric Flair has to do. Next time I'm bombing on stage, I'm going to try and do a woo and see if that works.
Yeah, he was probably
channel the great Ric Flair.
He probably had a handler on the side of the stage just say, "Damn it, Rick, just woo, just woo now."
Exactly. They pay like $12 million for this woo. Just woo right now.
Well, hopefully he actually shows up to the snake pit on Sunday if he thinks he was already there and done.
Exactly. He can come style profile, wear a robe. But since you have a sunburn, you might need to get chopped by Ric Flair just for the story.
Yeah,
he'll do it.
Let's run through this match card real quick for Extreme Rules, Kyle, 'cause that's one of the reasons we have you here. It's been a lot of fun, a lot of laughs. Here's what I want to do. Brandon, who knows nothing about wrestling, besides that he thinks Ric Flair is constantly drunk, which is a brilliant gimmick by Ric Flair because no one ever knows if they just have to guess.
Hey, at least I know who Ric Flair is. My wife met Ric Flair a couple years ago and had no clue. He was actually trying. So my wife does retail and she buys for different sporting events like NFL, drag racing. They do WWE. So she was down for WrestleMania. Was it last year, Shy, or 2 years ago?
I think it was in Dallas last year, wasn't it?
I don't know where it was. Within the last.
I think it was at the Dallas WrestleMania.
Within the last couple years, she was down there, and so they were getting the store ready. And Ric Flair comes up. They weren't quite done getting it ready, and he says he wants to come in and buy up a whole bunch of his merchandise. Well, she has no clue who Ric Flair is, so she tells him they're not open yet, and he can't come in. And he asked her, he's like,
"Oh my God!"
She's lucky he didn't go off on her because he's been known to have a foul mouth sometimes.
She asked him, she said, "Well, I can write down your name or whatever. If you want to come back, we'll make sure we have this product for you." And he said, "My name's Ric Flair. You think you can remember that?" And then it was at that point she knew. Okay, I think I messed up.
Oh my God! You have a lot of Flair memories already.
Yeah. Here's the worst part, Kyle. His wife is from Minnesota, about 10 minutes away from like the cradle of 90s wrestling, where Rick Rude and the Legion of Doom and all those dudes are from, and Rick Rude and all those people in Flair in Robbinsdale. She doesn't even know what Robbinsdale is.
Well, she knows.
No.
She knows Jesse Ventura, but that's just because he was the governor.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he's the governor. He's
the body.
Colorful. Yeah, the body. That's maybe you could do a segment or something where you show them some old school wrestling sometime. Just the both of you sit the family down, Shy sits you guys down, and you see an old school like Ric Flair or somebody from Minnesota moment, you can call it. And you can show like a Ric Flair or Rick Rude or Mr. Perfect. And
Mr. Perfect, that's the one that's my favorites. They could literally fill a whole Hall of Fame class just with people who were from 10 minutes away from where she was born. And she has no idea who they are.
Absolutely right.
Extreme Rules card real quick. I'm going to have you tell me what you think is going to happen, and then I'll have Brandon follow up with that. Keep in mind, Brandon has no idea what the hell most of this stuff is. We're going to open up with Hardy Boys versus Cesaro and Sheamus, newly turned heel team, in a steel cage tag team match for the championship.
I feel like Cesaro and Sheamus need to win.
I do. I feel like the Hardy Boys. I was really surprised when they put the belt on the Hardy Boys at WrestleMania because they didn't need it. I thought it was time for Enzo and Cass to get it. But if they're going to move on with this broken gimmick, I think they got to get the belts off too.
Yeah, I think they got to get the belts off them. And if it's not a broken gimmick because of whatever lawsuit TNA is going on with, they'll do some kind of variation.
The cracked Matt Hardy.
Cracked Matt Hardy or whatever they're going to call it. Because people want to see it, and after a while, you're gonna forget about it. So strike while the iron's hot.
Well, I think the Hardy Boys are not only going to win the match, but they're going to go undefeated the rest of their career.
All right.
Great
useless
they
analysis
delete
by you.
Everybody else. That was a delightful prediction by you.
Thank you.
All right, Dean Ambrose is the champion coming in against The Miz for the Intercontinental Championship. If Ambrose is disqualified, he'll lose the title. What do you think happens here, Kyle?
I think Ambrose gets screwed out of the title, and The Miz sneaks one away.
All Maurice has to do is go in the ring and like push The Miz down, and then he wins the title. It's so simple, right?
Yeah, something ridiculous like that.
Can I say, Dean
Keep
Ambrose?
Going.
Did you see these salaries that came out the other day talking about the highest paid, people in the company?
No.
Dean Ambrose is like number 5, and he has to be the most overpaid person in the company because he has been he's been the biggest disappointment out of the Shield so far.
Yeah, he kind of just does. I don't like Goofy Ambrose too much. Too much Goofy Ambrose. I'm not that into that. The Goofy Ambrose that he is. But yeah, I don't understand. Like the shirts that he makes aren't good, or that the WWE makes for him aren't very good.
I think
maybe they just sell like Dean Ambrose tank tops because he wears those all the time too.
I think that Ambrose is going to get body slammed, and in the process, his wiener's going to break.
That'll keep you sidelined for
that. That will keep him out of action for a long time, and it will disappoint his wife Renee Young. It would be very interesting for Total Divas, though.
Yes. Now I would say this next match, Neville, who's coming in as champion versus Austin Aries. This looks like where the title would switch, but it could be the match of the night. But you're not going to have any near falls because it's a submission match. What do you think happens here, Kyle?
Yeah. I'm not an Austin Aries guy, but I think he's going to win because this would be his third loss if he lost to Neville. I think they're going to take the title off of Neville for a while. Maybe I'll push the Gulak or any of the other 205 Live heels, TJP, and just take the title off of Neville for a little bit. Maybe move him back up to the main roster, to the Raw heels, because he's been on fire since he's come back.
You know what's funny about Austin Aries? People told me the entire time he was on the Indies and in TNA how much of a fan I should be of him, and I was like, I didn't really get it, and now I'm kind of starting to get it. Kind of. Yeah. And I kind of like him. Brandon,
he's talented. I can't deny his talent, but I've just never really been into the character.
And Brandon's just going off of pictures here.
Maybe I'm upset about him being vegan or something. I don't like when you can be vegan. I don't like when people shove the fact that they're vegan. Eat whatever you want. Just don't stop me from eating like chicken.
Brandon, just from looking at this picture here, Neville or Austin Aries, who wins it?
Well, I'm going to go with Aries because Nellyville looks like he's got a huge forehead, and I don't like his hair.
Did you just call him Nellyville?
Yeah, Nellyville.
Nellyville?
Yeah, Nellyville.
Oh, that's awful.
Nellyville?
This is now. Tell me,
that was a solid album.
Yes, it was. I like that. That was. Now tell me this, Kyle, because I did not watch the last episode of Raw. So tell me, is this actually accurate? Alexa Bliss versus Bayley in a kendo stick on a pole match. Is that real life?
Oh yeah, that's happening.
A Judy Bagwell in a pole match.
Yes, the Judy Bagwell Invitational. They already doing the Mae Young Classic. The Judy Bagwell Invitational will be Alexa Bliss versus Bayley. But no, because Alexa Bliss hit Bayley in the back of the neck with the kendo stick 2 weeks ago. Then she hit Mickie James in the back of the neck with the kendo stick. So now we're going to have a kendo stick match, and it's going to be brutal. I think Alexa Bliss is on fire right now. There's no reason to take the championship off her. Bayley is much better chasing. The fans aren't. You don't want the fans to turn on Bayley like they have with John Cena and Roman Reigns. So let Bliss do her thing.
I hate the fact that when Extreme Rules comes around, they have to force these stipulations in, like with this kendo stick on a pole match. Brandon, who do you have winning this one? I don't think you know.
Well, I'm going to go with Bayley because I think she looks better.
Do you even know which one of these is
Bayley?
Well, I'm just assuming Bayley's on the right since she's the second name on there.
You were one of the only people that would actually say that from just seeing a picture of them that Bayley looks better.
That's interesting. Now Bayley is not unattractive. She's attractive.
Yeah.
She's a very pretty lady. They both are. But I've never heard somebody in terms of looks.
Alexa Bliss
So
is like your
that's-
prototypical woman, Brandon. I can't believe that you're saying
Yeah.
See,
you're picking Bayley.
Shai has always said that blonde is my type, which I have been attracted to a lot of blondes, but I still say I don't have a type.
Whatever. Hey, Bailey's got
Hey.
booty though. I'll tell you that much. Bailey has that.
She, according to the guy that I went to my first NXT show with, Bailey's got that onion. Was the chant she tried to chant.
She does. In the main
Yeah,
event,
she does have an onion.
yeah, the main event is going to be a fatal 5-way. They had an injury, so they just had to throw a bunch of people in there and then make something happen. It's going to be Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, Finn Balor, Bray Wyatt, and Samoa Joe. Winner is the number one contender. As far as we know, this is not an elimination match, but WWE is known to change these things at the last second, right?
Yeah, all the time. I think it's actually going to be Bray Wyatt because if the next pay-per-view is Great Balls of Fire or whatever dumb name they're going to call it, they're not going to waste Finn Balor, Brock Lesnar, which is a SummerSlam match, at Great Balls of Fire. Like if anyone's going to get sacrificed to Brock Lesnar in this build-up to SummerSlam, it'll be Bray Wyatt, which is unfortunate for Bray, but it's kind of been his role for the past few years now, anyway.
I'm a little confused on this because, like you said, SummerSlam is supposed to be a big match with Brock and Strowman's out. I feel like it should be, if the story they're building is going to be Reigns versus Brock at WrestleMania next year, Brock needs another win over him. So it's like impossible that you're building this story up where there's no way he can beat Brock Lesnar, and then he finally comes back and beats him. So I think it should be Reigns, but I'm not sure. That's the thing WWE does when they put 5 people in a match. You have no idea what's going to happen.
Yeah. This match particularly, like, I don't know who's going to win. Like, everybody there is a top talent. Like, I can see it going anyway. They say that all the time, but I can legit see this one going anyway, and you're going to get a good match regardless of who's in it. As long as Brock Lesnar feels like working that day and not just suplexing people.
All right, Brandon, which one of these guys looks like they're going to kick some butt?
Well, I love Samoa Joe's name, so I kind of want to root for him. But Wyatt, that sounds like a Southern name. I'm a Southern guy.
He is a Southern character.
Well, then that's who I'm rolling with. I like it.
Bray
Let's go
Wyatt.
Wyatt. We agree on something there, Lyle.
All right.
Lyle
I'll do
Kuis.
it, baby. It's going to be in the Impact Zone X Division.
All right, Kyle, thank you so much. We went a little longer than I wanted to, but it's been a lot of fun. Kyle Lewis, part of Three Man Booth and comedian extraordinaire. Find him on Twitter at Kyle Lewis, or excuse me, at Keep It 5-Star, FIVE. And you can check out Three Man Booth at the number 3 Man Booth on Twitter. Kyle, thanks so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you. This was a lot of fun.
It's okay, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. You can run and tell my city I'm on, I'm on, I'm on, I'm on, I'm on, I'm on. You can run and tell my city it's on.